I went into Funny Games expecting something like Scream, Saw, or The Strangers. You know, high stake horror with just enough blood and catharsis to keep you rooting for the final character. That comforting horror formula: violence, struggle, revenge, survival. What I got was one of the most frustrating, soul punching, hope crushing film experiences I've ever sat through, and apparently, that was the point. Funny Games is a shot for shot English language remake of Michael Haneke's own 1997 Austrian film. But even if you don't know that, the movie wastes no time letting you know it's not playing by the rules. From the start, the film sets up what looks like a bourgeois vacation, a happy upper class family driving to their lake house with eggs, sailboats, and Vivaldi on the radio. But within minutes, you're introduced to two young men, Paul and Peter, dressed like polite, preppy golf caddies. They're clean, courteous, and off. And once they enter the house, it becomes clear they're not here to borrow eggs. They're here to play games. Cruel, manipulative, sadistic games. But what makes Funny Games so disturbing isn't what happens, because frankly, not much is shown on screen. It's what doesn't happen. The movie implies violence and then holds the camera on your reaction. And the worst of all, it gives you hope, only to take it away. Every time the story builds to a moment that feels like it's turning in the family's favor, Haneke yanks the rug out from under you. One scene in particular, the remote controlled scene, is the cinematic equivalent of the director walking into your house, grabbing your popcorn, and spitting in it. It breaks the fourth wall. It breaks reality. It breaks you. Because in that moment, the illusion of narrative justice, the very thing we go to horror movies for, is obliterated. It's a reminder that this isn't a game where the final character survives. It's a trap, and you walked into it willingly. So, what's the point of this? Why would a filmmaker intentionally frustrate, depress, and psychologically torment his audience? Because Michael Haneke doesn't just want you to watch violence, he wants you to ask yourself why you're watching it at all. This is a film about complicity, about media, about the way we consume pain and suffering as entertainment. When Paul smirks at the camera, he's not just being creepy, he's acknowledging you. You're there, you're watching, and he knows it. The killers don't have a motive. There's no backstory, no childhood trauma, no big reveal. When asked why they're doing this, the answer is chillingly casual.
Why not?
Haneke once said, "This movie is for people who would not go see Saw." Ironically, a lot of Saw fans did see Funny Games and they hated it because Funny Games isn't horror in the way we're used to. It's horror about horror. The reviews for this movie are a case study in divided opinion. Some call it filmmaking with purpose, a masterpiece of psychological terror, and one of the most unforgettable horror films ever made. Others call it pretentious garbage, pointless sadism, or 2 hours of emotional torture with no payoff. One reviewer admitted they initially gave it 1 star, furious that the kid died, the villains won, and no one got revenge. But after researching Haneke's intent, they bumped it up to 3 stars, admitting, "I yearned for revenge, but I finally understood the subtext." Others weren't so generous. One person said, "If you enjoy watching a pathetic family be held hostage by two lame psychopaths, go watch this flaming pile of trash." And honestly, that review is part of the point too. Because this film is meant to make you feel that way: uncomfortable, angry, deprived of resolution. It challenged the deeply held assumption that movies, especially horror movies, owe us justice, revenge, and emotional closure. Is Funny Games just a smug lecture on media violence? Or is it a brutally honest reflection of the world's random cruelty? The truth is, it's both. Yes, it's manipulative. Yes, it's cold. But it's also honest. Because in real life, evil often doesn't get punished. Bad things happen. People suffer. No one hits rewind except in movies. And Haneke dares to ask, why do we crave that fantasy so badly? Some reviewers say the film glorifies the killers. Others say it condemns us, the viewers, for giving them an audience. But either way, you leave the movie feeling gross. And that feeling, that lingering dread, that you can't shake, that's the point. I came to Funny Games expecting survival, maybe even revenge. What I got was despair. But days later, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It burrowed into my brain like a rusty fishhook. The way it played with me, mocked me, mirrored me. This isn't a movie you enjoy, it's a movie you endure. A movie that challenges what you think you want from horror. And maybe, just maybe, that makes it one of the most honest horror films ever made.